Hey, everybody. I am Carly Smith, joined today by the Hampton men's basketball coach, Buck Joyner. Coach, it's such an honor to be with you today. And we're shining a light on Black History Month, which means we get to highlight your career and dive into this deeper journey of how you've navigated the realm of basketball. So just want to start by saying thank you. Thank you for your time to have this conversation today.
No problem. I appreciate you all having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm curious, when you look back on your journey throughout basketball, who has played a significant role in your life that's opened doors for you to occupy some spaces in the realm of basketball?
It's for me, that's a pretty easy question. It's probably my uncle, Steve Joyner. He's the head coach and athletic director at Johnson C. Smith University, where I actually went to school. He's been there for, if I'm not mistaken, almost 50 years.
Wow.
He was the head women's coach for maybe 15 years, somewhere around there. He's been the head men's coach for 30 or more, 15 to 20, 30 more years, as the head men's coach. And then probably within that time, 20 years, he's been the athletic director, or more there. So, during this time, it is kind of different for us because we're kind of HBCU born and bred. We've been there. And then right behind that is my dad, who, same thing. Even though he passed a couple of years ago, but he was the head coach he was with my uncle for years at Smith when he took the men's job. He was the head coach at St. Paul's College, which is an HBCU that was in the CIAA. He was the head coach at Livingstone University, which was at HBCU in the CIAA. So this coaching thing has been kind of a family business for us, for years. But those are the two that kind of opened the doors for me. Now, as a family, we were in a unique situation, I guess, as I look back at it. As a family, we're from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Right around the corner from us was Big House Gaines. He lived there, so I knew him personally, through my uncle and them. And as a youngster coming up and being able to go to games, this and that. And when I went to Johnson C. Smith myself, he was still the coach there. John McLendon, I was able to know him personally. Have conversations with him when I would go to Final Fours and stuff like that with my uncle and my father. We were able to be around them, talk to them. And ironically, I didn't think I wanted to be a coach at that point in my life, listening to their stories and not just about how they build, uplift men, people, the culture, things like that, but just the stories that they told. You know what, I don't want to coach, but I think as time went on, it's what I became, and it's where I am now. And I'm happy and a better person for it.
Funny how life happens, right?
Yeah.
You were born into it, and here you are now, and coaching, like you mentioned, at a historically Black college. How would you even put into words the weight, the significance of carrying on the legacy of those people who have gone before you?
It's different, it's welcome, but it's different. I think for me, attending an HBCU, growing up in an HBCU atmosphere and those things like that, I kind of accepted it's kind of like our Obama moment. It's my Obama moment. It's the university's Obama moment. It's a time where the basketball athletic world, and even some people who are interested, they're looking at HBCUs and people through our eyes. And their experiences are coming through our eyes. Now, of course, there are differences when you're moving in conferences and, of course, level of play, things like that. And we have to, eventually end up attacking those things and being able to play within that. But to be able to represent the culture, be able to represent HBCUs, be able to show the young men who come, who are here and who have been here, and even those who may come, that there is a different side and a different aspect to this thing that we haven't thought about. And again, we're the window to what the world sees about us. So, again, I welcome the challenge. It's tiring, but it is what it is. And like I say, as I tell our guys, and ironically for myself, and even some of my players, this is our third conference, in 5 years, and something is being asked of us that's not being asked of anybody else in the country. But why wouldn't you have it like that? Who doesn't want that? So this is your opportunity to make a mark, and it's our opportunity to make a mark on something bigger than us. And that's how I look at it.
How have your players handled that?
In some instances, I think it's the game. They're gonna come play the game anyway. The difference, in my opinion, for some of the kids we have now versus the kids that we had, let's say when we back to the MEAC and some of them went to the Big South, they understood both sides of it.
Yeah.
So they saw it a little different. They attacked it, I think, a little different because they saw both sides of it. A lot of the kids that we have now, I don't think know the difference, because this is all they've seen is CAA
Right.
or Big South to CAA. But to go from an HBCU to a traditional conference, whether it be the Big South or the CAA, we see it different because I've lived it. I've been through all of it. So I think they do feel some of the weight, but I think the weight comes more on wins and losses than that you're carrying the culture. So
Sure. Wow, that's so interesting. And for you, you mentioned just representation, like what are you guys representing? And as you step into these, the new conferences, the new schedule, but just life in general, how important is that representation in the realm of sports?
I think it's very important. I think, again, some people may agree, some people may disagree, but I think as a coach at an HBCU, coaching an HBCU conference, who've coached in a traditional conference now, who've actually been to 2 different conferences now. At some point, we want to be more than just HBCU coaches. I want to be a good coach,
Right.
not just a good HBCU coach.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the way that I look at it. I'm so proud of the flag that I carry, or the flag that we carry, coming for HBCUs and the things that we do, A&T and some others, and some of the things that we're able to do and we're able to experience for ourselves and people to see our universities in a different light, and different types of people to come be able to see our university and see us as a program. But we take a lot of pride in what we do, but we also want to be seen more than just HBCU coaches. We want to be great coaches. We want to have great programs. We want to be able to build great programs, and also be that HBCU program that did it also.
Thanks for saying that, Coach. And how incredible is it now, just in that role as a coach, to be able to, just like your family who went before you, opened doors for you. You get to do that for young men every day, and you're with your own family. I mean, how incredible is that?
You know what? It's the best feeling in the world.
Yeah.
And again, one of the beauties of this for me and for, I think, the university and for a lot of us, is that I've been able to do it without switching and going to a lot of different places.
Right.
I've been able to enjoy this ride at the same university for 14 years, through really 18, but 14 years as the head coach of this university, through a lot of wins, a lot of championships, a lot of down moments, a lot of change moments. It's all a part of it, and it's all relative. But it's outstanding for me, and the feeling I get to be able to usher us into this new era, and hopefully it'll help everyone understand that we all belong. We all can coexist. We all, they get to come to our university and see some of the differences of the way that we carry on and do games, and the band and the cheerleaders and the dance girls and the atmosphere, just as we get to do, when we go to some of theirs. So, I'm so proud and so elated to be able to help open these doors. Now it's about us trying to build a program and build a situation as to where we can stay and be successful for the long run.
Yeah. And Coach, one word that I just heard while you were talking is commitment. Like, you've committed to this university through the good moments and through the moments that are just tough. And that is life. And so in this culture that we live in, where you see a lot of people can change schools, can transfer out, can do this and that, the other, how important is preaching that culture of commitment in your life, on your team? How important is that?
What is very important is everything. Again, to me, athletics is indicative of life. A lot of the way that you see athletics go is the way life goes. Nowadays it's a quick atmosphere. Go get Instagram likes, go do this. Life is fast. Life is blah, 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 everything. But how are we playing athletics today?
Right.
Everything is fast. Everything is go get the points. Everything is go get, and again, go find, you talk about the transfer portal and all these types of things where people can change and move, and coaches can move. It's not the same in the day where, again, I'm gonna use my uncle as the example.
Sure.
I made a commitment to that university, and hopefully that university makes the same commitment to me for the long haul, and want to build something and build an atmosphere and build a culture. And again, that it takes its ups and it takes its downs. But again, for me being able to try to instill that in these young men, and again, sometimes it's not gonna work. We do understand. But to be able to instill that in these young men, to try to make sure that they're committed to what they're doing, is, to me, doing the same thing, that nothing that don't teach my son or these kids about life. You have to be committed to what you're doing. When you have a family, you got to be committed to that family. My daughter's 10, my son is 17, my other son is 15. They don't stop eating and they don't stop growing. You know, I have to be committed to make sure that they get the best experience in his life, whether it be good or bad. You know, that they learn from those experiences, and they're able to do the things that they're able to do, that they succeed when I'm gone. And I think that's the same thing that we're teaching here, and that's the same thing that hopefully we're doing as a program to help the university, and the university is doing. Let's understand where we are now. What is it going to take to be successful, and let's move on from there. You know, like, again, as I spoke to some classes one time, and as I told them, I'm no different than your professor. You know, he's Dr. such and such now. I'm not Dr. Joyner, but but I'm no different than a professor. So when we look at all these things, the difference between me and a professor here is I take my test in front of 5,000 people, and that's when I get my grade. You know, and sometimes the grade is not growth; it's wins and losses. You know, and that's the tough part. But again, at the end of the day, man, I'm so proud to carry the torch, and so proud that God has blessed me and put me in a situation at Hampton University, and a university that I've loved and actually has stuck with me for some years, because I've had good years and bad years. You know, that we've been able to stick this long, you know, and look where we are now, and look what we're ushering in, a whole new era of college basketball.
Oh my goodness. Ushering in a whole new era. And this is the last question that I have for you, because you have 3 kids who are grown up. You've got a full roster of kids who are grown up, about to step into the world. You, coach, Dr. Joyner, what do you want to see for this next generation? It can be anything, but what do you want them to live in, a culture and environment? What would you want for your kids?
You know what? I would want, are you asking athletically or personally?
Both of it. It's all combined. Yeah.
You know what? I've been at this HBCU thing my entire life.
Yeah.
You know, and when I say my life, when I was born, my uncle, my father, all of them were in HBCU situations, and I grew up in it. To be in a situation where not only are we all moving into a situation where we all can sustain, be where we are, be successful, win, have the same opportunities, and you know, as other athletic programs and people, and we pour into it, but that we're able to be there, and we're able to succeed, and they're able to see the fruits of it. You know, I think throughout my career, I've been able to see the fruits of it. Me standing on that court in the CAA, you know, as a head coach of a historically Black college, it's us seeing the fruits of our labor. Every time I talk to my uncle, he's elated that you've been able to experience something that a lot of us, going all the way back to Big House, to the people that I've known, that I was able to talk to, and he's part of that era. He's probably got 600 wins of his own. He's probably got, you know, he's a staple in this. But when he tells me that it brings tears to his eyes, because that's something he thought he would never see. Just like when you say Obama became, that's why I say this is our Obama moment. When Obama became president, you saw Jesse Jackson and some of those people crying, because that was something that they thought they would never see. And even though you know the moves are going to be made, you know, I'm proud of the fact that the CAA took us in, the Big South asked us to come, the CAA asked us to come. I'm proud of the fact that we accepted those invitations, but I'm proud of the fact that I'm also one of the people standing there who are pushing us forward, and to see where we can go from here. And that's the thing that I want my kids personally to understand, and I want my players to understand. We have pushed forward. You know, things are different. We are playing on a different platform. Now, represent yourselves, your universities, and your family on that platform. And that's not only in basketball, that's in life.
In life. Thank you for your labor. And I'm so excited for your kids to continue to benefit and eat the fruit of that labor. Seriously, genuinely, with all my heart. I'm so thankful.
Well, thank you. And I appreciate you all taking time to talk to me.